Hi, I'm Courtney Miller, entrepreneur and owner of Flip This Furniture. Today I'm going to take you through the steps that I take to make an old weathered piece of furniture modern and sleek. Clients often ask me to work on their own existing pieces of furniture, but I also find my own pieces at auctions and thrift shops. So this is a piece that I picked up at a local auction here in town, and my plan is to use it for a client that is hoping to add some character to her living room. My plan is to give this a two-tone effect, with the legs being darker and the surfaces of the table being lighter. So now that I've been able to take the table apart, it's going to make it a lot easier for me to do the separate colors. It's really going to be clean and crisp. And so I've been able to just wipe down the tables, and I'm going to give it just a quick sand. Actually, you don't even need to sand it with some of the primer that I'm going to be using, but I'm going to give it a quick one just to give it that extra grip. Okay, everything is sanded now, just a quick sand, and my next step is to prime it. I've chosen to use this primer here. I'm going to use it in a spray version. I could use it in a brush version, but I don't feel like it right now, and I find that the spray covers it just the same. So as you can see, this spray paint gives the tables really, really great coverage. And just be sure to get it everywhere so that the paint that you put on top has some awesome... Oh, another quick note, this primer, I found myself that this is the absolute best. It is supposed to stick to any and everything, including plastic. So I like to use it on tables that don't require a lot of sanding. So everything is primed now, ready to go. I'm gonna put a white paint, like I said, on the surfaces of the tables, and when I'm done that, I'm gonna paint the legs a dark brown to give it that two-tone dimension. So here I go, I'm ready with my white paint. Unfortunately, I don't have the can left of the white paint, but it was this type of paint, just a regular interior accent base paint. And I'm gonna start just rolling it. I find that the foam rollers give it the nicest finish, the smoothest finish. So here I go. Now that I have everything primed, the legs are ready for their nice brown coat. So I've decided to use this just camouflage chocolate brown paint, and I'm gonna spray them because it's faster, and I like things done fast but efficiently. And I also find the smaller the surface, the nicer the coverage is with spray paint. With a big surface like that, that's why I chose to use the roller as the final coat, because it gives a nicer finish and it doesn't show the blotch marks of how spray paint can do. It doesn't show that though on the legs. So I've chosen to use my finishing coat as spray paint on the legs because it's easier. And I like easy. So I'm just doing another quick coat here. Just gives it a nicer finish, like I already said, and just a nice rich look. So the nicer the better, and I want to use up my paint. All right, I'm upstairs right now in my office, and I have some wax paper in front of me, and my choice for the top of the table is to do that Paris kind of script print on the top to give it kind of a unique look. So in order to get that on, I'm going to use a wax paper technique. So you just have to cut the wax paper to the size of a regular 8x10 piece of paper. And once you find your graphic online, you put the wax paper in the paper tray and it prints it out. And that allows the picture to be transferable onto furniture. So here's my printed Paris kind of French written script piece that I'm gonna put on the top of the table. And so I went online and I had to go to a special website to get this to print for me. So I printed it on the wax paper and I did a mirror version of it. So here we go. You just put it face down, obviously ink down, and make sure you don't move it around too much and just keep it there. Don't let it slip like I just did. And just kind of rub over all the letters. Try to get all that ink down onto the paint. And I find that it actually, the ink sticks better on the paint when it's a little bit tacky still. And this paint is still a little bit tacky, so it's perfect. And here we go. Everything's pretty much painted now, and my client has told me that she is in a home with children and they're hard on furniture. So I'm going to try to accommodate that for her. And I'm gonna rough it up on the edges and kind of give it a bit of a worn look. And if her kids get a big ding in it, it doesn't matter. It's gonna look great. So it'll just add to the character. So I use a sanding block. If you don't have a sanding block, you can use a piece of sandpaper, fold it, and just kind of rough up the edges where it naturally, where it would naturally wear. So just, can add some wear to some of the spots, like just on the top. You can kind of go with some of the indents and kind of work with that and try to add some character to it. And then once that's done, we're going to throw a clear coat on it to protect the paint and to protect this pretty lettering. Oh my gosh, I love it. I wish I could keep it for myself. Step now is to put a clear coat on the finished product. I've got everything wiped down. I gave it a quick wipe with a rag just to get all the dust off. Try to get as much dust off as you can, especially when you're putting a clear coat on. And the reason I'm not putting a clear coat on with roller is because when you throw a roller over top of the lettering, it will smudge it. So I'm using this to just do it nice and far away. It'll throw it on like a nice mist, and it won't show that it's a spray I'm putting on. The project now is finished, and I really think that my client will be thrilled, because I sure would be.